Hello, and thank you for joining us. This video presentation will share some aspects of achieving sustainability in the built environment through semigration. Key aspects focused on in this presentation include sustainability in the built environment, understanding semigration and some of the trends, the push and pull factors influencing semigration, the impact of semigration on the sustainability of the built environment, and the projected future of semigration. So what is sustainability in the built environment? In 1987, the United Nations Brundtland Commission stated that sustainability is meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. At a 2015 UN summit, world leaders adopted the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, including 17 prioritized Sustainable Development Goals. Goal number 11 specifically captures guidelines for making cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. These goals have also been integrated in South Africa's National Development Plan 2030. What is semigration? Lead Home, in a 2020 article, defines semigration as the act or process in which professionals, individuals, or families decide to move to a different location within their country. The effects of the global lockdown has forced many companies to assess the way in which they conduct their business. Employees now working remotely from home are no longer bound to their specific locale, but can be flexible and increasingly opt for moving to another location responding to their specific needs. The pandemic has caused the biggest and fastest transformation of the labor market since the World War II mobilization. Industrialization spurred urbanization and saw people moving across towns, cities, and provinces to be closer to the workplace. The pandemic, however, has accelerated semigration, the trend of city dwellers to move to suburbia, coastal cities, and rural towns, preferring more living space over gridlock traffic and relishing the opportunity of a real ocean view instead of a generic backdrop for a Zoom meeting. Why are people semigrating? Semigration is predominantly motivated by wanting a better quality of life. Julia Kagan from Investopedia writes in her March 2021 article that quality of life is a highly subjective measure of happiness, which, although it is understood to be a non-financial component, is an important element of many financial decisions. Factors that play a role in determining quality of life vary according to personal preferences, but can be summarized as including the following aspects: financial security, job satisfaction, family life, health, safety, and a conducive natural environment. She further states that financial decisions can often involve a trade-off wherein quality of life is decreased in order to save money or earn more money. Or conversely, quality of life can be increased by spending more money. An example hereof is the relocation to Pretoria as one of the favorable locations due to affordability and access to healthcare and education. However, the trade-off is safety and security. Pretoria is ranked as the third most dangerous city in the world, based on the crime index data collected by Nimbio in 2021.
Africa's share of the world population is changing more than any other continent. According to the 2020 United Nations World Migration Report, 272 million people live outside of their home country as voluntary economic migrants. The majority are men within the working age of 20 to 64 years of age, and developed countries like the United States receive the majority of migrants, and in this case, just under 51 million migrants. Closer to home, the major destinations of South Africans immigrating includes a few countries in Southern and East Africa, Australia, the UK, and France. Migration to and from countries in Southern Africa is largely driven by the pursuit for economic opportunities and political and environmental stability. By mid-2020, it was estimated that 2.5 million migrants resided in South Africa, mostly from our neighboring countries of Zimbabwe and Mozambique. The estimated provincial migration data from 2016 to 2021 indicates that the majority of migrants reside in Gauteng as the economic hub of the country. Gauteng also experiences the highest influx of migrants from both inside and outside of the country, although there has been an annual decline since 2018. According to data assembled by Lightstone in 2020, the majority of semigrators were aged between 45 and 65 and bought mid-value freehold properties in the Western Cape. The cities of Cape Town, Durban, and Pretoria are receiving the majority of semigrators within the mentioned provinces. They also boast high quality of life indexes and are comparable to New York and London on an international level, as illustrated by Numbeo. Some of the smaller towns on the list of top semigration locations include Midrand, Ballito, Knysna, and Gqeberha, the former Port Elizabeth in the Eastern Cape.
The impact of semigration can be both positive and negative. Achieving an equilibrium between the intricate dynamics of people, profit, and planet will ensure that communities not only survive, but they prosper. In order to further achieve this, the built environment requires new intelligent urban planning to create safe, affordable, and resilient cities with green and culturally inspiring living conditions. Semigration brings with it the opportunity to economically stimulate local economies, develop inclusive communities, and facilitate infrastructure upgrades within the focus area. It, however, also poses the risk of placing additional strain on already scarce resources within an area. The following sections will discuss the social, economic, and environmental impact semigration has on the receiving locations. The increase in population coupled with the high unemployment rate, which is over 28%, has caused poverty levels to rise even further. Semigration has the potential to stimulate demand in the local market, including development of property and associated infrastructure, which will offer streams of income both long and short term. Developing infrastructure increases the quality of human resources and improves capital efficiency, which in turn encourages economic growth. This rise in demand will afford both government and the private sector to redirect impact investment to the focus areas, which may be rural or urban. According to Chess Everett, millennials are increasingly preferring to move from their small city apartments back home and purchase spacious houses in the safe neighborhood for the entire family to live together. The search of a sense of community is a strong driver behind semigration. The opportunity to create flourishing, diverse communities and ensuring equal access to resources and education include some of the anticipated impacts of semigration within the receiving locale.
Infrastructure and technology impact of semigration. Semigration has created a demand for fiber internet connectivity in many small towns. The installation of the fiber infrastructure has allowed for these small towns to tap into the recent advances in PropTech, disrupting the real estate sector, enabling the remote viewing of properties for sale through 360-degree virtual reality tours, online portals allowing for the purchase of properties, access to digital business cards, chatbots, CRM digital business, online forms, and digital signatures. To conclude, semigration has resulted in the digital connectivity in never before imagined areas of South Africa, has also boosted Industry 4.0 with stimulating disruption in the real estate sector through PropTech, all of which improves productivity, efficiency, and improved employer and client experience in the local real estate market. It is important for developers to consider the risk versus return of investing in semigration developments. Risks: locations that lack access to services and infrastructure, resulting in the developer absorbing such installation cost. Land in areas such as the north coast of KZN sell at premium prices, which would result in a higher total capital outlay by the developer. The anticipated rising of interest rates and increases in inflation may also eat into the developer's projected profits. Should demand be drying up on completion of the development, the developer risks making a smaller profit or none at all. Return: currently there is a boom in demand for lifestyle estates by semigrators. High volume of sales and escalating sales prices, coastal region semigration towns, where coastal properties have experienced a boom with higher inflation outperforming inland properties. Many German investors have been investing in semigration towns. Semigrants often prefer to rent short-term before deciding to purchase, resulting in a boom in rental demand.
Semigration will increase the population within a specific area. The population dynamics are overarching drivers of environmental change and will provide increased pressure on access to finite resources. Economic growth is likewise dependent on the availability of these resources and its efficient use. Expansion and advancement involve extraction of depletable natural resources in the form of water, construction material, minerals, and agricultural land. Sustainable development can only be realized if ecosystems are used in a responsible way and are not compromised beyond repair by unsustainable consumption. The introduction and reliance on circular economies and focus on the use of renewable resources will achieve this. It is therefore imperative to encourage enhanced social structure and a consciousness of the responsibility placed within the communities to limit consumption and life responsibly. Semigration is anticipated to unlock a multitude of opportunities within the built environment, which should correct the spatial inequalities, provide equal access to resources, and stimulate economic growth. We therefore conclude that the future of semigration will hold a positive outcome and will contribute to the creation of the sustainable built environment if managed responsibly. Understanding the social, economic, and environmental drivers, its pressures, connections, and interdependencies will ensure that the rapid changes expected in the localized markets will fulfill this expectation. The property price benefit of the popular small towns destinations for semigration will initially attract homeowners, but the increased demand will lead to higher prices. This, of course, will force buyers to look to other cheaper small towns until the same happens to them. This signals that no destination will be permanently popular and that this will change every few years. Semigration will introduce new dynamics in the work environment in some sectors. Geographic location will no longer be a defining factor for being employed and will encourage policy review and a renewed focus on wellness. Various entrepreneurial opportunities will be created for business supported by innovative approaches to addressing the gaps left in the service delivery within the focus areas. Sectors include education, entertainment, distribution, tourism, and many other aspects of life. The additional time spent at home with family and friends instead of being in traffic will strengthen family structures and ensure community cohesion. This concludes our video presentation on achieving sustainability within the built environment through semigration. Thank you for your time and interest from all of us. Until we meet again, goodbye.